Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, Dirt Racing officials. Let's see how this goes. We ran a practice race last night that went pretty well. It's definitely fun. There was like 80 entries, so I'm sure I'm in one of the middle or lower splits. Let's get the throw on the heat tacky setup. I want to try something here real quick. Okay. But the race went pretty good. Now it's going to be, we'll see how it goes in the officials. What's up, Wayne? Definitely learned a lot in that session last night, so. Whoa, got loose there. I think I actually like this better. That different pitman arm. Car doesn't feel as twitchy. Long ass day, Wayne. Yeah, it was a long day for me too today, man. But I'm not driving truck. I gotta did my new paint scheme. Just finished it uh, a little while ago. Well, I finished it at like 6 o'clock this morning. So figured I'd roll out a new one since I'd had that same one for like 3 seasons now. But anyways, what's up, Justin? Yeah, put Patrick, I'm gonna call you Patrick, man. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, Patrick, in the 360s at the bigger tracks, it's pretty much wide open when the track is tacky. What we were noticing last night in the test is it didn't take very long though before we were starting to lift. Now, when we were lifting, we were just rolling out the throttle about 10%, and I got to get my mute button on. There we go. So yeah, you're pretty much wide open. That's how they were before too. You were pretty much wide open. Now you were wide open a lot longer before, but yeah, in the beginning when the track is tacky, you're wide open pretty much. But it was probably You know, in my heat race, the last couple laps, I was just barely rolling out the throttle just a little bit just to get the car in and set, and then I was back on the throttle. So I need to hold on, I gotta do this because I gotta change this real quick. Okay. All right, let's qualify. It's Patrick? Okay, sweet. Glad I said that wrong. Right. What's up, Landon? I'm doing good. So is it just flats out because it's tacky and you're using your setup? And yes, Patrick, it's because I'm using my setup. My setups are amazing. I mean, they're incredible. They're so good. You can just hold it wide open, man. You just drive with one finger. Sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. You can do that in the fixed setup too, probably. But a lot of it is just because it's tacky and it's a 360. It's a little high there. Broke it loose there. Damn. One little bobble, that'll cost you a 10th. It felt like let's see, track was clean. But see, the track does not feel the same as it felt last night. It feels like it doesn't have as much moisture as the one we ran last night. I need to make some changes to this thing. I'm thinking. So let's go that. I want to take that out. See, I want to go with that. We'll change that. And I think we'll go with that. Oh, almost forgot. Let's do that too. Okay. All right. So I'm starting 4th in heat 1. I can't remember how many they take. They take 6. So it's 12 and then 4 more, so 16. How many cars are even in here? 17, and one of them's not running. So everyone's going to the feature. There's not going to be a consi, which means the track is probably going to be pretty tacky in the feature. Yeah, Jordan, we have what's called the Insider program. It follows the official season, so every week I put up setups for all the official races on dirt oval and asphalt oval. And they start off at, I think, like, you know, sprint cars start off at like $4 a month. So it's like $1 a setup, $1 a week. So I know some people were telling me yesterday, some of the setup shops out there, they're charging like $25 for a setup, which is, that's a lot. I don't know. I mean, whatever. If they're selling them, man, congratulations to them. That's awesome. I guess maybe I'm just way underpriced. I don't know. But yeah, we do. The free setups, I haven't finished updating them yet. I have to we had free setups for all the dirt cars. They need to be updated with this new build. I haven't had time to do it yet. I spent this whole last week trying to learn as much as I could about these new cars so I could get stuff built for the insiders, for the paying members in SSR. So as soon as I have a decent feel and it doesn't take me as long to build the setups, right, I'll get the free ones up. So I'll probably have those up, I would say, in another week or two. But right now, if you go to the website and you sign up, you join the community, you'll get access to the free membership. And right now, everyone in SSR, if you're on the email list, you get access to the insider setups this week. So I gave everybody on the SSR mailing list free access to all the paid setups this week. So you can get this setup. You can get the late model ones, the 410s, everything. So you can get it for free this week. All right, here we go. All right, last night the race started through the middle and then went to the top. I'm going to go to the top and see if we can get this to come in. Looks like it's the bottom still. Felt like I was getting kind of close to him. I didn't want to go up on him. What's his number? 28. That was a fun race, man. No one is driving that car. What? What are you talking about? No one is driving that car. I just messed. How could he not be driving? PM user? PM driver? What's the difference? Oh, so apparently if they're not in their car, then they're just a user. Okay. Ah, I missed the setup stuff. I missed that. It's PM user now. Yeah, I just noticed that, Landon. Apparently, I didn't pay attention to anything else. Landon, I'm a free member. Yeah, I had a guy message me last night. Obviously, it's just one guy. But he messaged me last night, and he was like, dude, I just ran a pro late model setup with your insider setup. And he's like, my I rating is 1,000, and I beat 3 5K drivers. I guess he like legitimately beat them on the track, so that's always cool to hear. Obviously, he's the one driving the car. There's no magic in the setups, but it's just good to know that he was comfortable enough to go out there and do that. Because I was more worried about the late models than any other car because they had so many changes to them. Obviously, the sprint car physics and stuff like that changed, but I know how to figure these cars out. Where the late models, they had so many changes, I was really worried, man, that I might miss something. Like, I spent a ton of time on the late models. Here, let's ride with this guy. He's nice and smooth through that corner. You know, there's such a divide right now on whether or not these cars are good or broken. And the people that I know who have raced sprint cars, they're like, they feel great to me. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there, and drivers, like people with real world experience, who are like, these things are broken, they feel like crap. So I don't know what's right. I just know that I think they feel way better than they used to. I don't know how anybody can say that the previous build that we had with the sprint cars, how they could call these fundamentally broken, but the other build, the previous build, wasn't broken. I don't know how anybody could, I just don't know how you can say that. The other build, you could literally put a 950 bar on the right front, a 1050 on the left rear, jack up the left rear, drop the right front all the way down, put a tie-down shock on the right front, and an easy-up shock on the left rear, and not only drive it, but be fast. That's, to me, that's fundamentally broken. I will admit, there's some stuff here, after watching Billy Strange's video, after watching him, he does make some very good points. He does. I'm going to actually do a video on that, because there's been quite the back and forth in the forums, and people have been using his video as evidence, and then there were some people who are actually putting up my videos as evidence, and he has real world experience, so obviously he has a much bigger leg to stand on than I do. But there's some things with the car I think are more setup issues than build issues. I do. And I think once you kind of figure those things out, I think it makes the car way better. Far more enjoyable. Far better racing too. Much more stable. Let's see, our right rear was at 97 after that heat race. So the track doesn't seem to be too abrasive. Okay, we're going to need to get our setup on before I forget. And I'm thinking for the feature, I'm wondering how... See, I'm thinking I need to change this. I think we're going to change that packer so we can get a little bit more right rear in it. And then I think I'm going to actually increase the wing angle. And then we'll go with the different gear ratio. And I'm going to drop that. I want to race and try to do good, but I also want to test some stuff too, you know. Races are when I can learn the most for the insiders. What's up, Spencer? Yeah, I didn't know they changed that too. Yeah, me neither. That one thread in the general dirt forum is up to like 120 comments. It's gotten nasty. Yeah, it has gotten nasty in there, Patrick. It really has. Which is unfortunate, you know, because I think one of the biggest problems when it comes to stuff like that, where people are arguing about what's right and what's wrong and things like of that nature, is there's a lot of confirmation bias that happens, where as soon as people have an outlook, right, their mind is made up, what they'll do is they're going to go out and they're going to look for the evidence that proves their theory, right? Instead of looking at it objectively and being like, hey, I could be right or I could be wrong, they're going to look and see what they can find to prove their position. Where I've always said, I'll be the first one to tell you when I'm wrong. If iRacing comes out tomorrow and they're like, hey man, you know what, we watched Billy Strange's video and we actually talked to some more drivers, and they said that this thing is not right, it is broken, and we actually have fixed it, and the build is coming out next week or whatever, I'll be the first one to be like, hey, I was wrong. I liked it, but the car is not realistic. I was wrong. I'll be the first one to admit that. Where a lot of people, when their mind is made up, it's just made up. And then it becomes this, like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot, stop complaining, you know, and it did get pretty nasty in there, man, which is unfortunate because we all want the same thing. Right? Like, we all want the same thing. We want the sim. It's supposed to be a sim, right? That's why it's called sim racing. We want it to simulate as close as it possibly can to real life, and we want to come out and race and have fun. That's why we all do it. So, I get it when people think that something's broken or that it's wrong because we pay for this, right? So we want it to be right. And I also can understand people's frustrations when there's those out there who are like, you know, stop complaining, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, if you think that you do and you truly believe that and then people are telling you that, it's going to make you defensive. So I get it. It just sucks, man. I just don't like to see that because for me, I just want everybody to enjoy it. That's why I do it. It's fun. All right, let's see if we made the right adjustments. This track did not slick off. It got decent slick last night in our test race that we did, but this is what we've got right now is, phew, this is what qualifying would look like last season. You're right about that, Patrick. I do think that the iRacing setups are causing a lot of issues. I understand that that's close to what a real-world setup should be, but that doesn't mean that it should work in iRacing and make the car work. I remember when I first started on the sim, we used to jack the front end all the way up and lower the rear end, right? That's not realistic, but that's what we did to make the car work its best, you know? So I do think a lot of the issues that people are feeling is caused by the iRacing setup. I really do. Because it's, that, I think what's going on, I'm going to actually cover this in the video that I'm going to do on this. Because I'm going to go through, I already started doing it, but I'm going to go through Billy's video, talk about the stuff that he talks about. I'm going to go through it actually in the car. Show examples of what he's talking about, and then the stuff that I think I can fix with the setup, I'm going to actually fix and show, like, hey, this is how you can make this better. Whether or not that means that the car's broken or not, I don't know, but it will make it better for people. So I do think the setup is causing some of those issues. All right, here we go. Whoa! What the hell? What happened there? Dude, I don't know if that was netcode or what that was. That was crazy. Look at, he disappears right here. Disappears, and then watch where he comes back. And he came back without his wing. Look at that. So there's his wing. You can see it sparking before he shows up. Right there. There's his wing. Oh my god, that was really bad. Who was that guy? Blackstall. And he disconnected. Yeah, that was rough. Damn, that sucked. I'll have to save that and send that in because that was some insane netcode. That was crazy. That's a bummer. First official dirt race in a while. I'm going to lose a bunch of iRating. Oh well. Maybe the guys complaining a lot of the ones who use the wonky setups. That could be, Wayne. I don't know. It's possible. If I was to buy the $19 sub, what comes with that? So I don't know if we have a $19 one. I think we have a $20 one, Jordan, which is the platinum, and that's everything. $20 a month, you get everything. You get all of the dirt oval stuff. You get all of the NASCAR, all of the short track oval. You get everything that we have in the Insider program. It's 360 wing, 410 wing, pro lates, super lates, big block modifieds, UMP modifieds, but there's no setup because the UMPs are fixed now. Dirt midgets, 360 non-wing sprints. On the asphalt side, you get the late model stock, super late model, SK mod, tour mod, asphalt legends, NASCAR truck, NASCAR Xfinity, and NASCAR Cup Series. So you get all of those for $20 a month. So that's what the thing is. What's going on here? Open my focus. There we go. All right, let's find another race here. Oh, big blocks. Oh my god, I just missed it. Damn it. Ah, damn it. I wanted that race. Crap. What do we have next? I just ran 360s. I don't want to run 410s now. I don't want to do fixed dirt midgets. I guess we can do the pro lates at Port Royal. Dang it, that sucks. Oh man, I almost caught that race. Damn, dude. Bummer. I really wanted to run that. Wasn't paying attention. Pro late models, Port Royal. Let's see here. Did they already do? They did a race. I want to see what were these guys doing for lap times. 18.4 was the best lap time. What'd they qualify at? 17.7. Okay, so they're in the high 17s. All right. How bad is it since the new update? Actually, Thomas, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's awesome. I I love the new update. I know there's a big debate out on the sprint cars, but I love the new update. I really do. I don't think it's bad at all. Um, Now I've got the cars figured out. I don't want to say I've got them mastered because I'm doing all of the dirt cars and still all the NASCAR stuff. So I still have a lot on my plate. But I spent, this last week after the update came out, I basically spent a day on each car. Well, about 6, 7 hours. So I would get home from working, at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, and then I would be on there till, 11, 12 midnight, somewhere around there, working on a car, trying to figure it out. So I think I've got a pretty decent handle on them. I didn't figure out any type of like, you know, exploit or anything. I didn't figure out any like, thing like that where it's like, hey, do X and you just makes you 2/10 of it. I didn't figure out anything like that. But I did make the cars to where they're comfortable and feel good and race good, at least for me. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Like I told the insiders this last week, I was like, get ready for, be prepared for updated setups. I put out an updated 360 setup last night after we did our test race. So yeah, it's just gonna, it'll probably take a few weeks. I want to do a couple weeks of racing, and I'm trying to gather as much data and stuff that I can to get kind of a handle on everything and figure stuff out. Put stuff out, try different things in races so that way I can see. I personally think the late models, out of all the cars on the new update, I personally think the late models are the best cars. The big blocks are really good too. I mean, I know we're just in a practice test right now, but this thing feels really good right now. The thing I like the most about the late models now is that you can actually use some brake, and it helps you can use the brake to manipulate the car, and you're not losing a bunch of speed. In fact, it does a really good job of getting the car up on the bars and keeping it there, especially when the track gets slick. And the thing that I really love now is the track. The fact that the tracks wear more like a real racetrack. Now, there is a debate right now that they don't slick off fast enough. You know, with the new randomness that they have in the moisture content, I would like us to you know, wait a week or two of official races before we start saying that that's broken as well. But I like the fact that the track wears and the line moves like it does in real life. You know, when you go to a racetrack in real life, you know, most of the time, it happens every once in a while, but for the most part, right, the line starts off in the middle, right, towards the bottom, and then it widens out, right? The cushion gets higher and the bottom gets lower. I mean, that's what happens at almost every track. And we would have tracks where it was the opposite of that, right? Port Royal, for example, you would come out in qualifying and you were running on the wall. The bottom is perfectly tacky and it's a half a second slower. Like, that shouldn't be the case. So, I do really like that. See, I freaking love these cars now, man. The late models might be my new favorite car. Personally, for me, I think this is the best version of the late models we've ever had. Sorry guys, I've missed some of the chat here. Nice, Wayne. Started 18th and finished 4th. There you go. Bottle up. Did a 358 race. You could tell tire wear came into play. Those that pushed hard early dropped off. Yeah, the tire wear does come into play some too. I think you're going to see it a lot more, come into play a lot more with the races that are longer. Like, I think the dirt late model tour races, those ones that are 75 laps, I think tire wear is really going to come into play there. I think you're really going to see it in those races. Brady, that $20 sub you just spoke about, is that on the iRacing website? No, Brady, that's for the insider program that I have on my website, schoolofsimracing.net. Oh, and Wayne put that. I plan on signing up this weekend. Oh, nice. Yeah, Wayne, Port's not top dominant anymore. Zach, the Charlotte sets you have some really good speed. I was fast as anyone in top split, just didn't do my job in qual. Well, that's good to hear, Zach. Because I know how fast you are, so. Tommy, do you know how to set up a Thrustmaster TMX force feedback wheel? Because I'm having to overcorrect my wheel and then lose the car totally. So yes, Thomas, I do. That was the first wheel I ever had. You want to make sure that you install the drivers, go to Thrustmaster and download their control panel. Their control panel, if you have it, will look something like this. So if you go to USB, so go to Setup Game Controllers, when you go to your wheel, if you click on Properties it should bring up something that looks like this, okay? You want to make sure that your rotation and angle are at the correct number. And then when you go to gain settings, I usually recommend somewhere right around here for iRacing with the Thrustmaster stuff. 75 on the overall force, and then 100, 100, 100, 75 off and by the game, okay? That's what I would recommend. But you want to make sure that you have this Thrustmaster control panel in order for this wheel to work correctly. Once you have that, then you need to make sure that you calibrate the wheel correctly. The best way to calibrate the wheel correctly is this. So you're going to come in here. What you want to do is you want to focus on the wheel, not the numbers. So we're going to go all the way to the right, going to go all the way to the left, and then we're going to bring the wheel back to center. When I center my wheel, I'm looking at the wheel. I'm not looking there, right? That says 50.1. I don't care. If my wheel is centered, then I don't care what that number is. I want my wheel to be centered. So right there, my wheel is centered, okay, which says 50.1. Done. Then I'm going to turn my wheel 90 degrees to the left. Once again, when I do that, I'm looking at the wheel. I don't care about this. So we're going to turn 90 degrees. Right there on my wheel is 90 degrees. And you can see that that says 892. And now, if you look, when I turn my wheel, this right here is 1-to-1, meaning that my steering is matching what's going into the sim. That's what we want, okay? If it's off, that's where you get those problems. I did a one-on-one session with the guy. It's been a few months now, but he had been on the sim for years. He was one of the first people in SSR, okay? SSR started back in 2020. And he just could not get it figured out. He was just like, dude, can you please do a one-on-one session with me? He's like, dude, I've been doing this for 2+ years. He goes, I'm hardly any better than I was when I first started. He's like, I don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Please. I was like, yeah. So we do a session. He's coming in thinking that I'm going to be like giving him some kind of secret setup or some kind of trick, right, to make him fast and smooth. We spent almost the entire hour calibrating his wheel, calibrating his pedals, and making sure that his FOV was correct. He had none of those correct. None. He was essentially driving with one arm tied behind his back and one of his eyes closed. That's about what he was dealing with. Once we did all that stuff, he's done nothing but get better. I mean, it was like 2 days later, he's like, oh my God, I'm scoring podiums consistently for the first time like ever. So you've got to make sure that that stuff's correct, man. You have to, because if it's not, it's just going to hurt you. It really is. So do those steps, man. Make sure your FOV's correct, because you talk about your steering. If your FOV's not correct, you'll be chasing the car because your field of view is all screwed up, which means your sense of speed is all screwed up. So you got to make sure that all that stuff, all those little things matter, man. They matter a ton. So yeah, do that, Thomas, and I'll bet you dollars to pesos it'll be better for you, man. Yeah, for the hidden, if you go to options and then go to graphics, right here, hide obstructions, just click on all, and that'll hide the rock screen and the halo and all that stuff like that. Also, make sure that you do that in the replay as well. Let me look at a couple more of these before I go back on the track here. Most noticeable thing I found is the slick has too little grip. Once the moisture is gone out of the dirt, the track is super slippery. Feels like you have sealed right rear tire. Need to fix that. To be honest, Jordan, I haven't been on a track slick enough yet to experience that, but I could see that. I could see that, especially since we have tire wear now. I could definitely see, you talk about having a worn out right rear tire on a super slick track, I could see where it would feel like that. I don't think they'll introduce different compounds throttle up at least anytime soon. I do think on the wing sprint cars, I do think the front tires have a little too much grip. Now, like I talked about before, I've been kind of fixing that by changing my steering pitman, but I do think the front tires do have a little too much grip. But like I said, I want to go a couple weeks. I want to try to race in a bunch of different track states and experience everything before I start, you know, making, you know, any crazy judgments. I think that's one of the reasons why so many people got mad when you had those people coming out saying this is crap, this is broken, this is junk, you know, and just saying all kinds of stuff. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people got defensive and mad and it became so personal was because people were like, dude, it hasn't even been 24 hours. Like, seriously? Like, that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, man, just, you can't give it a day. Like, you just think that it's just garbage off the get-go, and it turned into a bash fest. So, you could absolutely be right on that, Jordan. You could definitely be right on that. I haven't experienced that myself, so. And look, like I said earlier, I don't know if you were on the stream, I will 100% come on here and be like, hey man, this isn't right. Like I did that video last year on, you know, it was titled, Can Dirt Be Saved? You know, like what's really wrong with the wing sprint cars and the dirt midgets? I mean, I personally hated the previous versions of those cars. I thought they were junk. The midget was tolerable, but it wasn't good. So. But Matt, hopefully, I'm hoping this session we get a super slicked off track. I would love to actually get one of those. I haven't got one yet on this new build. One thing I've also noticed is the cars do not pick up marbles like they used to. You know, it used to be, there would be so many marbles on the track, man, it would almost form another groove. And we don't seem to get the marbles like we used to. And I'm wondering if that's why we're not getting it, because I haven't had a track yet either where there's a really pronounced cushion. This guy up here is having all kinds of trouble. Yeah, this thing feels great, man. I'm ready to race. I'm looking at the time and then I hit the wall. You freaking kidding me? Alright. Let's see, Chad. Are you going to Where'd that go? Are you going to be redoing your free baseline setups in the setup matrix? Yes, chat, I am. I talked about that a little while ago. It's going to be a few weeks, but yes, I will be updating that stuff. Hooked up midgets feel great. Yes, the hooked up midgets do feel great, but the slick still has grip to it, just not as much. It's not ice. Oh, okay. Corpse of Twinkie. Wish I could race, but I got spinal fusion surgery and can't race anymore. Oh, dude, that sucks. Man, that's a bummer, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. Patrick, TMX great wheel, but I always ran 0% damper because I felt that the belt gave enough damper effect. Patrick, that is not a bad suggestion. When I ran the TMX wheel, I did run less damper uh with that wheel. Now, I didn't run 0% damper, but I did run less damper. I think I had the damper in my TMX turned down to like 25-30%. One of the reasons I run more damper in this T300, even though it is a belt drive motor, for whatever reason, in some cars, it feels like I have to turn the force feedback up so high to give me that feeling that it becomes like rough. And so I found that if I turn up the damper in the Thrustmaster control panel and then I turn it way down in the sim, it gives me a good feel. But yes, that is something with the TMX, because the TMX has got that combo gear slash belt motor in it. So that's definitely something we're trying out too. Chad, when I post or when I update the setups, you guys will know. I'm gonna do a video on YouTube about it, and I will send out an email letting everybody know that the setups are updated, that the free setups are updated. Would your settings work for TMX? Yeah, they would work for TMX. I would do like what Patrick suggested. You might want to play around with that damper some a little bit because it is a different wheel. But yeah, they'll work. What's up, Smooth? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Patrick, as if everyone was super jazzed about the last. That's the thing. Dude, Dirt got so bad. All right. I knew a ton of Dirt people who just let their memberships expire. Like they did not even they literally just signed back up when this new build came out. So, I that that's the thing, you know? I mean, yeah, I look, I get it, man. I get it. I want the cars to be as real as possible too in terms of their feeling. I do, man. I really do. And like I said in my review video, for the knowledge that I have, I've never raced a sprint car, but I tuned on them, I set them up, I worked on them, I talked to drivers all the time because driver feedback was really, really important when I'm setting up a sprint car. And I know people right now who own sprint cars and are racing in them, and you know what I mean? And from what they've said, they're like, these things feel much more realistic than they used to. So I don't know who's right. iRacing said they had real drivers that helped them on the late models and the sprint cars, right? So if iRacing says that they have real drivers that helped them, I don't know why they would lie about that. It's not in their best interest to piss people off and lose business. You know what I mean? It's not in their best interest to do so, right? Like that's just dumb business. You know what I mean? But it benefits them to have the most amount of people as possible on the platform and staying on the platform. It's not like we had to buy this new build. You know what I mean? It's not like we had to pay money to get access to the new build. They're not gaining any new money from this. They're just trying to keep the people that they have happy. So it doesn't behoove them to put out what they think is crap. You know what I mean? I get it. It's frustrating. Or if you think this is crap and you're like, dude, how did this even get passed? You know, because I've had moments like that too. I'm like, dude, how did this even clear the testers? You know what I'm saying? So I understand that feeling. But the anger, the vitriol that people have is just what boggles my mind, because I understand iRacing, they want to put out a good product. They don't want to put out garbage, because for them financially, which is what funds all of this, they want people to be happy and on the sim. So yeah, it's a bummer, man, it's like that. My one and only complaint, which isn't really a complaint, but the late models feel like they are made of paper. I do wish the damaged model had a little bit more rigidity to them. Dude, everybody's leaving. I registered for the race, didn't I? Race. Yeah, I'm registered for the race. Okay. Whew. Everyone's leaving. I'm like, dude, did I not register for the race, or what's the deal? Um, yeah, I can see that throttle up. You know, before they used to say that the cars were too rigid, that they needed more flex. Like if you hit the wall and stuff, it shouldn't bounce off the way that they did and stuff like that. But I think the damage model is something that they'll tweak on. They've done that before with cars and the damage model. You know, and you know, iRacing does listen to people um in the forums. They really do. They want to make, like I said, they want to make people happy. You know, that video that I put out that was literally titled "Can Dirt Be Saved?" Right? I just talked about a few minutes ago what's really wrong with the sprint cars and the midgets. One of the, I can't remember who it was, but one of the pro drivers in on the World of Outlaws esports series saw that video and sent it to iRacing, and iRacing actually looked at the stuff that I had shown, right? They actually looked into it. You know, I think if there's an issue that you see and you actually provide constructive criticism, like, hey man, love the new damage model. I do think these are a little bit too soft. You know, if they're a little bit more rigid, right? I think they should be a little bit more rigid. You know, something like that. That's something that are they going to fix it next week? No, because it takes time to do that stuff. But they want stuff like that. I really think they want stuff like that. So, yeah, you know, if you think that, man, you get some because I've seen people before with stuff like that where they're like, hey, where they sent in clips and they were like, hey man, this should be like this instead of like this, that type of thing, and they'll look at it, dude. Ba, 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 ba. Only reason I mention it is from experience in a midget in real life, so I won't ever say the other cars are close or far because I have no idea. Yeah, Jordan, I have experience with midgets, but I never raced one in real life. I always said that the midgets needed more action to them. That you know, a midget in my review video, the best example I've ever heard of what they called a midget was controlled chaos, which I think they are. They're really on edge. The front end has a lot of action to them. You know, the power to weight ratio on them is insane because they're so small, they're so light. So I've only ran them so far on tacky tracks. I haven't got to run them on the slick tracks yet. So hopefully I'll get to experience that. But because yeah, I love those cars. Thanks, Tyler. I'm glad to be on third again too. Want to see the damage model cover all cars. Nothing beats seeing your front end fly across the track. There we go. Time to race. Uh, I haven't got the quick release in the wheel yet, Wayne. The direct drive is still sitting here on the ground waiting for me to review it. They sent me I've got the base. I've got the direct drive base. I just need their wheel and quick release so I can test it and do the review of it. So I haven't got that yet. I'm hoping it comes soon, man. I really want to try it. You know, Justin, upgrade for a wheel, it really depends, man. Wheels can be so expensive. A G27, you know, I think those are pretty good starter wheels. I remember when I used the G27, it was a long time ago. It wasn't mine, it was a friend's. I always thought they felt kind of notchy. I love my T300. I think these are a great budget wheel option. But now with as cheap as some of the direct drive stuff is getting, if you can afford a decent direct drive, like it's worth getting in my opinion. But it's just a matter of what you want to spend. That's the issue. So, a T300 I think is good. If you can get the CSL Elite, their, Fanatec's direct drive, their cheaper direct drive, I think that's a good deal too. Did I really just do that? And as soon as I get my wheel and my quick release for this Camus direct drive down here, I'll tell you how that thing works too. Because that setup is like, their direct drive is only like 800 bucks or something like that. It's actually really when you consider direct drive pricing, it's not bad. Their pricing is not bad at all. All right, let's get this track run in. Of course, that was my fastest lap spotter. That was my only lap. Whoops, wall. I think my front end's bouncing off the ground there when I'm hitting that bump in 3 and 4. And it's really upsetting the car. I think I need to put a bigger packer in that right front. We'll try that. We'll throw a... Maybe we'll go another 1/4 inch. I think actually my... Let's look at this real quick. I'm thinking too that I could probably... Yeah, I think I could get that nose down a little bit more also. So let's do that. So let's actually drop that down 2 clicks, and I'm thinking we'll go one. Actually, let's go. Yeah, let's actually stiffen that up too. Whoa. Oh, crap. Kidding me? Oh man, I can't remember how much lead I had in it. I had 3/16. 2, 1, 2, 1, boom, down, down. Okay. Let's try that. Jordan, I run hosted races too. Tonight I won't be. This is the last race I'm gonna run probably. I don't know. We'll see. I definitely handled that bump better. $17.8, a tenth off. That's okay. The car felt much better. Don't have to worry about that thing. You really need 9, 15, or 20 Newton meters of force feedback? Yeah, it's not so much just the max the max force, it's also the fidelity of the wheel. And the fidelity is all the little stuff, right? So, you know, having a wheel with 15 Newton meters, like that's great, but you also want to feel all those little things. I've used a semi-cube before, like the $2,000 one. And that wheel felt incredible and it had a lot of force, but what made that wheel feel so good was you could feel every little thing. It was insane. It's hands down the best feeling wheel I've ever used. So that's what you want, right? You want that force, but you also want the fidelity. That makes a huge difference. Blah, blah, blah. The 360 sets, what's the difference between the two download links? So the newest one will have a V2 next to its set. Those are updated setups. Anytime you see a V2 or a V3 or something like that, that means that those are updated. That's the most recent version. So the first download link was the stuff I put out on Sunday morning. And then last night, after our testing and test race that we ran in the 360s, I made updated setups and then I posted those. So that's what it is. Five Newton meters is still a lot. Like this wheel's like 3.9 or 4, and it gets the job done. That Camus base that I have down there is 15 Newton meters. So I'm interested to see how it's going to feel. We're going to get the heat tacky set up and just run it. Yeah, Patrick, running the wheel at max with the DD1 or DD2 is crazy. That semi-cube that I used, what you do is you turn it all the way up to the max in the software, and then in the sim, you turn it down. So that range is there. Thank you for the explanation. Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I might be becoming a late model guy. I really love these things now, man. These late models, they're so much more fun, dude. So much more fun. And a few, like, real-world late model drivers from stuff that I've seen in the forums, they've been saying that these things are, like, the closest we've ever had to real life. Once again, I don't know if that's correct. I've never raced a late model. I never even really set one up. There was very few times where we were at the track and the late models were running with us. So I don't actually know. I didn't know a lot about these things. But I know I love them now. Big Jess, I may have to give these a try. I can't drive the Sprint since the update. Yeah, Big Jess, I've heard some people saying that. I do think there's some changes you can make in the setups with the cars to make them 100 times more drivable. I'm going to be doing a video on it. I wonder if this dude is just wide open. No, he's not wide open. But he's definitely driving it in there deep. God, doesn't that sound like his car's like just digging up dirt? Yeah, it is. It's like slamming off the ground. Not slowing him down. Where am I starting? Third. Yeah, the side bite is a big thing, and with the sprint cars now, that left rear bump rubber and packer is so important when it comes to determining the side bite of those sprint cars. If those are not correct, if they're off, even if they're off just a little bit, the car just slides. Which, look, like I've talked about, I know that those things are super important in real life. I know that if you miss the setup on a sprint car in real life, the car can be bad. How bad? I don't know. I've never driven it. I do think that might be something that iRacing was trying to do with this build. And maybe they went too far with it. Like I said, let's give it some more time and see. Because that is the case in real life. You know, if you miss the setup in real life, the car's not good, right? It's actually really bad. And I'm wondering if they were trying to do that with this build and they just made it a little too much, right? A little too hard to handle for people. I don't know if it's like getting heat in the tires or what, but it's kind of crazy how much better the car feels after like 2 or 3 laps. And I screwed that corner up bad. One and two I've got down. My car feels great. 3 and 4, I just can't seem to get it figured out. I think I need to try doing like a cut down line or a diamond line in 3 and 4, because I cannot hit the bottom good there. Oh, damn it, I scraped that wall, couldn't turn. Whoops. Yeah, I should have went to the middle in 3 and 4 earlier instead of trying to stay on that bottom. So we burned. We ran 8 laps and did 2 gallons. So we only need like 7.5 gallons for the feature. I think I've got 9 in it, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me see real quick. I think there's 9. We're going to run the feature tacky setup. The track is still really tacky. Feature tacky. Yeah, I've got 9 in it. So... although I might have to make a change to it because the track is still really tacky. Like super tacky. Truth, I don't have single setups, man. I've had people ask me for those before. The problem is I build setups for all the dirt cars in the program. So pro lates, super lates, 360s, 410s, 360 non-wings, dirt midgets, big blocks. And then I also build the setups for the NASCAR Xfinity, the NASCAR truck, and the NASCAR Cup car. The time that it takes me just to do the next week for the official season, it takes me a long time for me to actually get out all the setups so people could just buy whatever they want when they want it. It would just take me way too long to do. I literally don't have the time to do that. So what I'm going to start doing is after this season, if the cars are the same, if stuff is the same after this season, or at least it's similar, right? It's not like wholesale changes. Then the archive setups from the previous season, I'll start selling those on the website. People can buy those. So, but yeah, this season, man, I just don't have it. I know other, setup shops and stuff like that, they've all got builders and they like got a car and that's what they do. Yeah, man, I can't get it done in time. And I don't want to put out crap. So... well, Patrick, I know that they were talking about the stuff that they've learned on dirt is a lot of stuff that they can apply to the asphalt oval side. I mean, they are talking about a big oval refresh. So, yeah, hopefully we see updates on the oval side. I would love to see better dynamic track states on the oval side. We don't see that right now. The track is basically the track. It doesn't really take rubber. It doesn't, you know, the line doesn't change, and so I would really like to see that. And they say we will, so hopefully we see that and we see it soon. I think the dirt side has definitely got some more refinement ahead of it. You know, when they came out with the next gen car, it was okay, but it wasn't great. You know, and over the last year, they've updated parameters, they've updated aerodynamics. You know, they keep tweaking it, and each time they do, they make it better and better and better. And whoa. And I think we could see that on the dirt side too. I really do. So. Justin, I'm almost at 3,500 on dirt. Nice, man. Truth. I understand. Thank you. I trust you and have no dirt sets. Thank you for the answer. Yeah, no problem, Truth. I wish I could turn out sets faster, man, and just sell them like that. I really do. And one of the reasons why I have the prices so low is because of the way that I do it. You know, if I were to contract builders and stuff like that, and we did it the other way, I'd have to raise prices, and I don't want to have to do that. So, like I said, next season, if the cars are similar, then we'll start doing stuff with the archive setups. Justin, I'm Division 3 asphalt now. Nice, man. Good job. I don't even know what division I am on asphalt or dirt. I don't even know. There was a guy who was giving me flack in one of my YouTube videos on the comments. He said something along the lines of like, if you're so knowledgeable, how come you're only, because I think I was at like 2,500 I rating or 2,400 or something like that. You're so knowledgeable, how come you're only a 2,400 I rating? I'm like, because I'm not a very good racer. Can you hear me now? Whoa! I hit the brakes so I don't run into the guy, and then the guy's in the wall. I have nowhere to go, and I get turned. That sucks. Wonder how much damage I have. The car feels okay. I think it's just body damage. But I've noticed with this new build, man, these late models are, the aero on them really seems to matter even more than it used to. Like, aerodynamics have always mattered with the late models, but it seems to matter even more. So my right front is bent up. I'm hoping that's not gonna, it's probably gonna slow me down a little bit. I don't know how my rear looks because I got hit in the back too. I got hit in the back, in the front, and on the side, so I don't know how bad it is. That's just one of those things, like, what do you do? I got nowhere to go, you know what I mean? Guy hits the wall on the start, and I'm right there. Nothing I can do, so it happens. Back row challenge. Feels like the back end's kind of sliding around a little bit more than it was. I probably messed up that rear spoiler quite a bit. Oh, buddy. Now I'm broke. Now I'm broke. God dang it. Can we even get damage fixed? I don't even know if we can. 8 minutes of optional repairs. Let's hop out and see how bad this thing is real quick. Oh my god, yeah, it's broke. Alright. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, man. Yeah, my steering is definitely off. You know, the 360 race, I got taken out by that crazy netcode. And then this, basically 2 laps in a row, I've got nowhere to go and I just get smashed. That's alright, we're gonna keep racing. We'll be slow, but we'll keep racing. My car is so slow on the straightaway. Dude, that guy wrecked. What are we doing? You're right about that throttle up. These cars are extremely aero dependent. I mean, literally the only dirt car more aero dependent than a late model is a winged sprint car, and that's because it's got a wing on it. You know what I mean? Like the dirt late models are very, very aero dependent. I mean, the way that they got the bodies and everything, how they run them, the side force that's generated with it, the way that when it rolls up on the bars, and yeah, they're extremely aero dependent. Dustin, on a good note, we can hear you again. That's good. I have a few buddies that run late models and big blocks. They say this is a huge step in the right direction. Yeah, that's throttle up. That's what I've heard too from people that I know on the sim who run late models and modifieds, and they're like, this is a huge step in the right direction. Which is awesome. It's why I understand the sprint cars who are frustrated with the sprint cars, because it's like we've got the late models and the modifieds are amazing and everyone loves them, and then the sprint cars, you've got this huge divide where people are like, these are good, and then some are like, these are horrible. These guys are crazy. The one car was flipping. How is he by me? You're right about that, Patrick. The black box stuff, the yellows, that could definitely use some updating. I get it, man. This stuff is hard. You know, it's hard to do, and I understand. It's kind of one of those things where are you going to focus your attention? You know, physics and dynamics and stuff like that, and then you have the, you know, things like yellow flags and stuff. It's like those are things that need to be fixed. Those are like quality of life issues on the sim that we all want to see improved, but it's not the headline, right? If you have a season 3 build and it's, hey man, yellow flags are improved, restart zones, I mean, all these different stuff like this, where it's like all these quality of life issues, all these quality of life things, people are gonna be like, oh, that's cool. But if you have, hey, dirt refresh, all the dirt cars, new tires, new fit, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing where everyone gets excited. So I'm with you. There's a lot of the little stuff like that I would love to see improved. I would like to see a water truck feature. You know, like in hosted races, we can have the track reset. I would love to be able to just have a water truck feature, like in real life, right? They don't go out and reset the track. They go out and they just put water on it. So then the track's still run in. You just put a little bit of moisture on it, right? Run it back in, and then there you go. I would love to be able to, like in hosted races, add a trophy dash, you know, something like that. Like, that would be cool. With me being broke, I kind of don't want to be up there mixing it up with these guys. Whoa! My right rear is spinning so bad right now. It's like I've got no grip on the rear end with this thing the way that it is. It's just sliding on me. I can't even like get back to the throttle. I know that tire wear is also playing an effect, but I think the tire wear in conjunction with my spoiler and car being jacked up is kind of causing all of that. How do I have an abnormal lap? Couldn't agree more with the water truck feature. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I would just like that for our league races. I think it'd be awesome. Yes, it is, Patrick. Racing development, it's very hard, man. You know, I've said it a lot. Simulating this stuff is not easy, right? Imagine getting all of the physics and the getting all the data of how just take a late model, how it works, how the suspension works, all that stuff, right? The physics behind a dirt track and everything. And then now you have to turn all of that information into ones and zeros, right? That's incredibly difficult. You know what I mean? It's incredibly difficult. So I think what we have is pretty incredible. I mean, even, you know, last season, the dirt that iRacing had was still better than any other dirt game out there, any other dirt sim out there, and it's not even close. Like, you look at like R Factor 2's dirt, it's cartoonish, man. It's ridiculous. When does the next season start? Oh, what, Narc? The next Narc season will be starting, I don't know, a couple months, in the fall, I believe. I'm so slow on the straightaways. Oh, no, 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 no. Where are we going? Where are we going? He just had him lifted up off the ground, man. Oh, you didn't saw that coming. Look at that. I get being run over sucks, but $37 watcher and only 11 likes. Come on, y'all, show Tommy some love. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Narc season, if that's what you're talking about, Throttle, that will start usually, it's probably in the fall. I don't know everything we're going to be running. I know that we'll be doing a late model season. I'll be running late models. I imagine we'll be running the sprint cars too. Midgets maybe. I don't know. It'll kind of depend. We'll see. I've got a really big special series that I want to run. And I'm waiting to see how everything continues with the, because I wanted to do it in the sprint cars, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. As bad as this thing is handling normally, it's even worse when I hit a bump. I can't believe I'm catching these guys as broken as my car is. I wonder if they've used up their tires. Whoa, where did that guy come from? Whoa! What's with the netcode tonight, man? I cannot get any drive off the bottom, man. My car is so broken, I can't build up any speed. I need to just go through the middle. See, even though the track's not really slicked off, you can see it's widened out, the racing grooves. Like, you can run top, middle, and bottom. I will 100% take a 6th place finish after that race. After all the damage that I had, I will definitely take a 6th place finish. Look at my car. Look at that thing. See my right front wheels hanging out. I will definitely take a 6th place finish. What did my tires look like? My right rear was at 65. Yeah, that thing felt like it was, after I had wrecked it, it felt like it was just spinning. Bummer. I think I lost a lot of I rating in that 360 race. Oh well. Oh man, I would love to do the super late models, but I need to wrap it up tonight. Damn it. I need to get going, unfortunately. Well, overall, I gotta tell you, I like it. I like the dirt. It's good. I think it's good. I think it's really good, man. I do. So I'm just looking at some of these comments. So crazy thing, my bro works for a company that does physics sim for industry, and physics sims is insane math and costs a ton of money. They made their physics engine into a game. Patrick, I bet I know the math formulas that I have to create just in my Motec telemetry. I can't imagine the math involved to create what we just experienced. I can't imagine it. So, yeah, I imagine. I wasn't aware of 2 leagues, but yes, I was asked about NARC. Oh, yeah, NARC. So, yeah, we have 2. We have the regular NARC. We actually have 3 now. So, we have NARC, which is our dirt. We have NARC Dirt. We have NARC Asphalt now, and then we also have NARC Ignition. And we have NARC Accelerator, the Accelerator series, which is like the Ignition series, but for asphalt. Seth, I gotta know, what are you always chewing? So Seth, this is nicotine gum, okay? I chewed tobacco. I'm 40 years old. I probably don't look it. Especially, you wouldn't think a 40-year-old would make a living sim racing and doing this stuff, but I'm 40 years old. I started chewing tobacco when I was 12 years old. I chewed tobacco from 12 until I was like 37 years old. 30, probably 38. And I stopped, well, it's 37. It's been about 2.5, 3 years since I quit. And I tried the patches and it didn't work. And the thing that I always had trouble with was I would chew Copenhagen snuff and I would chew on the grains and I would swallow them, which is, I know it's horrible for you. It's disgusting, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I didn't quit chewing tobacco because I wanted to. I quit chewing tobacco because I was tired of listening to my wife complain about it. That's why I quit. And I love my wife, but I fought her tooth and nail on it. I was like, this is because I'm also a recovering drug addict. I was an opiate addict for a very, very long time. Very, very bad. I lost more than a decade of my life to opiate addiction. And I've been clean now for, it'll be, I think, 12 years in September. So chewing tobacco was the last vice that I had, and I loved it, and I did not want to quit. But I did for my family, my wife and my kids. And I started using the nicotine gum, and I've basically become a nicotine gum addict. And with the gum, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put it in, bite it like 2 or 3 times, like crack it, and then park it. And that's how you get the nicotine. I chew it like it's Bubblicious. I'm chewing it all the time. And so it basically goes bad in like 15, 20 minutes. And so I'm always putting in a new piece because I just chew the hell out of it. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to chew it like a couple times, crack it, and park it in your cheek. So that's why I'm always chewing on this crap. It's a horrible habit, but it's what I do. My wife's like, when are you going to stop that? I'm like, I don't know. Never. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm always chewing on, man. It's gum. Yeah. Yeah, Throttle Up. The SSR Discord is the best info for NARC. That's where we post all the NARC info. Yeah, the Discord is really where we post everything. Yeah, Wayne, thanks for answering everybody's questions, man. I appreciate it. Good on you, man, for kicking it. Awesome to hear. Yeah, it was tough, dude. Opiate addiction for me, when I quit smoking like that, it wasn't hard. When my son was going to be born, I quit smoking. It wasn't a problem. I was ready to quit smoking. When I quit doing drugs, opiate addiction, I was so screwed up I had to do what's called replacement therapy because I messed my body up so bad. Like chemically, my body is not the same as it was before I started using drugs. If you've ever seen the movie Dope Sick, it's a very good look at opiate addiction. And when I got hooked on painkiller, I had 6 knee surgeries in 6 years, and I got hooked right when all of that Oxycontin stuff was happening. That was me. I was right at the tip of that spear. I remember the first time I was in rehab, the local newspaper came to talk to me. They wanted to ask me questions because having somebody who was a prescription painkiller addict was a new thing at that time. And obviously it didn't work. I did it for 12 years. So you know, I tried quitting numerous times. So that was really tough. But when I quit that, finally, it was just like, oh, I'm done. Oh my God, I can't believe it took this long. But you know, that first day when I was done, I was done. The chewing tobacco is the one thing that even to this day, if I see somebody pull out a can of chew, my mouth waters. Like I just want it. I still crave it. There's still times I want it. It's the hardest thing I've ever tried to quit, man. It's tough, dude. Is there any way you could go over how to set up some of the formulas or explain the math and expression section in Motec? I'm struggling a bit with it and finding info on it is hard. Yeah, throttle up. There's not a lot of info on it. Reason being is a lot of people who have the info, they don't share it. They just don't. I did a Motec masterclass about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and the way that I taught the class is we built 2 workbooks from scratch. We built one for the Wing Sprint cars, and then we built one for the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. And we covered a ton of that stuff in it. When it comes to before this dirt build came out, I had drivers, high iRating pro level drivers. I think 1 or 2 of them were pros, hitting me up asking me if they could buy my workbooks, because I used to sell them. I don't sell them no more, because people would buy them, they download them, and then they would refund their money. And in the great state of California, by law, I have to offer a 30-day money back refund. I have to. And people would buy them, download them, and then they'd get their money back. And so I stopped selling them. But yeah, the reason why info is so hard, man, is because people they don't really share it. I don't know what stuff you would be wanting to learn. You know, maybe one of these days I could show some stuff. The hard thing with Motec, one of the reasons I don't talk about it a ton anymore or really get into it anymore, is because I'll show stuff that I create and I'll tell people, I know this is not 100% accurate. I don't look at this as accurate to what's actually going on. I look for the changes in it. So for example, like I calculate dynamic loads on the Wing Sprint car, right? If I'm running a 1,000 right rear bar, and let's just say it's generating 500 pounds of dynamic load, and then I put in a 1025, I want to see that difference, right? I'm looking for the difference. So if I put in a 1025 and now it's generating 600 pounds of load, well, then I know that there's an increase in that load, right? That's what I'm looking for. I have no idea if iRacing, they've got it set up to where it's actually generating that much load. I have no clue, right? Same thing on the NASCAR Cup Series cars. I have no idea if my rear diffuser is actually generating the downforce number that it's saying it's generating. What I do know is when I calculate it, when I change the rake angle and it says I'm increasing or decreasing my downforce, I can feel that in the car a lot of times, and the data is saying, hey, that is a good change. That's how I use it. And I would do videos on it, and I'd have all these people talking about, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, that's not right, you can't do that. And it's just like, you know what, man, screw you guys, dude. I try to help, I try to slow stuff, and then people want to tell me I'm wrong and I'm an idiot. When I say in the videos, I'm like, I'm not saying that this is correct, I'm just saying this is how I do it. So yeah, I haven't shared the Motec stuff as much lately, man. I just got tired of dealing with people on it. I will say this though, there is a guy, I don't know what car you're needing help with, but the guys from Buster's Corner, one of the guys on there, Tom, so he's kind of like the tech telemetry guy, the one that does all the data and stuff like that. He has a Motec workbook that he gives away for free. I haven't really seen a whole lot on it, and I haven't downloaded or anything like that, but I know people who have gotten it, and they've said that it's pretty good. So you might want to check those guys' stuff out and see if there's anything in there. Jimbo, what's up, man? Haven't done too much dirt yet. What are your thoughts on track wear? The little bit I've done, I've noticed the top doesn't ever seem to come in for non-wings or midgets. So, Jimbo, the thing I've noticed on the track wear is the track does not seem to accumulate the marbles the way that it used to. It does not slick off as quickly as it used to. Now, that being said, though, the track does change. If the late model race that I just ran, even though the track wasn't crazy slick, the groove had widened out. You could run the top, you could run the middle, you could even run the bottom still. So, you know, I haven't had a chance to run any tracks yet where it's like, you know, the cushion develops or the top really comes in, you know, super good. I haven't got to race those cars yet. I'm kind of waiting to see what it's like when I race those. In the 360 winged sprint car, the test race we ran last night, the top came in, but there wasn't much of a cushion at Charlotte. And Charlotte used to be one of those tracks that would get a pretty decent cushion. So I think one of the issues with that is the marbles. We don't accumulate marbles like we used to. You know, it used to be there was a lot of marbles. It seems like that's kind of gone away. So I'm wondering if that's why we're not seeing really a cushion build up the way that we used to. I do think the track could be I don't want to say accelerated on the slick though, because like I said, man, even though the track's not slicking off as fast as it used to, the groove is still widening out. You're still getting multi-groove racing. So, yeah, man, I want to race it some more before I make any judgments on that. It's definitely different. I do like it. I think it is a step in the right direction. I really do. I think it could be improved upon, and I think it will be improved upon. I do. You know, the non-wing cars, to be completely honest, out of all of the dirt cars, I thought the non-wing car is the one car that didn't improve. I prefer, this is my own personal preference, but I prefer the previous version of the non-wing car than what we have now. I thought the previous version was amazing. I think the version that we have now is not as good as the previous version. And I don't know if that's because of the car. I don't know if it's the track. I don't know. So that's why I'm kind of reserving judgment on that until I get some more races in with it. Yeah, Throttle Up, I'm not worried about giving up secrets. I am a little bit more reserved with stuff now just because there's been a lot of people that I've helped before and then they literally like run their mouths about me. There was a driver who, world championship level driver, who came to me asking for help with Motec and telemetry and stuff like that, and I helped him. And then he turned around and started telling people how he never came to me and never asked me for help or anything like that. It was like a punk move. It's like, dude, why would you do that, right? Make me look like I'm some kind of liar, like I'm some kind of punk, you know, like stuff like that, you know. So I don't give out as much as I used to because of that type of crap, but I still will help you with it, man. So yeah, we can talk about that later. Did they fix the setups for the sprints yet? I can think of a name. I'll call you Think. Think, I don't believe they've fixed the setups yet. I do believe that that's what's causing a lot of the issues with the way people are perceiving the sprint cars, because I do think the wing sprint car setups are a little off. I think once you get the car dialed in a little bit more, I believe it's a lot better. So I'm going to actually do a video on that. I think somewhere in between will be good for now. I kind of like the weighty feel of the car. Now, I'm with you on that, Jimbo. I do like the fact that the car seems to be just a little bit more forgiving. You know, last build, you would come off that corner, right? If you were just not perfect with that throttle and that thing caught, like it would dart and shoot, and, you know, it was a little too on edge. So I do like that fact right now with it. that it seems to be the edge seems to be a little bit better. And like I said, I've only driven it at Lanier so far, which is not a very good track to really compare it. So I'm gonna do more testing and try to do some races with it, and then we'll see. I still like it. Don't get me wrong. I still like the car. You know, I still love racing it. But yeah, I definitely think the midgets are better, way better. I love those. Um, but yeah, I do think that there's some stuff going on with the track. I definitely think it's an improvement. I think it's a big step in the right direction. I just think we need to do some. I say we, like I've got something to do with it. I've got nothing to do with it. I just think iRacing needs to do some refinement with it, and I think they will. I do. You know, I really think they will. I think we could see maybe, you know, on the asphalt side they always do like, you know, parameter changes to the tire or stuff like that. I think we could see stuff like that with the track states and everything. Over, maybe not over the season. It would be nice if they did it during the season. If they did like a patch, I think that would be good. But maybe at the end of the season, next build, we could see something. So I think it's an improvement from what we had. The cushion not really holding the car doesn't help them for sure. Yeah, you're right about that, Jimbo. I've noticed when you're running the top, because there's not much of a cushion, if you miss that, if you don't open your car up and you don't get that thing driven in there correctly, you basically just slide into the wall. You'll just slide into the wall. And, you know, with the wing car, you've got the wing and it wings over, so you could actually manipulate the car, especially with the setup. You can manipulate it with that bump stop and packer to give yourself more right rear bite, which helps. But with the non-wing car, you don't have that. So I'm with you on that. I know that was one thing I noticed when I was testing the non-wing at Lanier, that if I missed that entry on the top, that thing just slid into the wall, man. So yeah, I'm with you. I would like to see more of a cushion. Truth. Grats, by the way. I'm a 20-year opiate addict with 2 years clean. Dude, congratulations, man. That's awesome. I was I I would take between 40 and 60 pills a day. I would start my day with like a dozen Norcos, a half a dozen Oxys, and like a couple of Somas. Like that was what I took, and that was like my morning cup of coffee. Um, I couldn't go more than like 6 hours without getting a fix, or I'd start getting sick. Like I was bad. I was really bad. My doctor, my DO, who does my replacement therapy, he said he was like, "You're worse than a heroin addict," which that was eye-opening when he told me that. I was like, damn, because I was also smoking Oxycontin. I was doing all kinds of stupid stuff, and it was so bad. It was so bad. So yeah, man, I'm glad I'm clean now, and congrats to you, man. That's awesome. I appreciate it, Tommy. I just want to learn and apply it to me. Understanding how the car works and setting it up is just rewarding as racing it. Yeah, I'm with you, Throttle. That's why I spend so much time testing and doing all this stuff. For me, like I said, it would be cool if I was a pro and stuff like that. Like that'd be cool. But I have way more fun doing what I'm doing and having people in the SSR community messaging me saying, "Hey, man, I won today. Thank you very much for the help." I enjoy that more. So I'm with you. I love setting them up and stuff like that. It's awesome. So, all right, you guys. Well, that's gonna do it, man. We're gonna wrap it up. I told my wife I was gonna be done at 8 o'clock, and it's almost 9. So, and this last week, I hardly saw my family this last week. So, but that's gonna do it. I will be back on, I want to say Thursday night. So tomorrow night and Wednesday night, my son's got baseball. He's All-Star games are going to be starting here soon. He made the All-Star team in his little league, but we don't know exactly when the games are starting. They should be starting here soon, but he's got practice tomorrow night and Wednesday night, so I'll be at practice the next 2 nights. But I will be back this week. Definitely going to do some more dirt racing. I'll be putting out that video on the sprint car stuff and covering all of that, just to kind of answer questions and kind of give people a little bit more in depth on what I think is going on with the cars, just my opinion, you know. And yeah, so anyways, you guys keep an eye out for all that stuff. But thank you very much, as always, for joining me. I really appreciate it. This was one of the best streams in terms of viewership we've had in a while. So it's good to be back on the dirt side, man. And thank you guys very much for joining me. So as always, I want to wish you good luck, good racing. Take care.